Tomb of Sand by Geetanjali Shree. Translated by Daisy Rockwell. Part 3. Back to the Front. Chapter 8. Many years ago, there was a painter named Bhupen Kakkar. He told stories with a brush about women, although for himself he preferred men. He gave them feminine attire and manners. He knew that a story cannot be locked into a box, or a canvas, or a gaze. So he never tried. On the contrary, he always left a small window, an empty space, so the story could move on at will and take another path if it so desired. Because stories never end. They jump through windows and cracks or other such openings, or create them by shaking, causing the earth to quack. From Bhupen's unspoken, unwritten, unfilled space, where do they go? This isn't immediately clear either. Vanished, unfettered, unworried. Customs thrown to the winds, crossing borders, like Ma. Over and over. Now with Beti, spanning boundaries, arisen from Samadhi. Religious fanatics and governments do not care for Samadhis, nor stories, nor Bhupen Kakkar. They like to shut them all up, in files, boxes, trunks, imprisoned not just over bribes or other dishonesties, imprisoned over stories too, especially if they are about women. If they don't move, so much the better. Make a grave, and that too the sort that will never burst open. Make sure to put women in there, so their shine will dull, their color fade, their skin wrinkle, their bones dissolve, their fragrance waft away. The fanatic does not allow the lid to be pushed aside because the woman's flaunted fragrance is unacceptable to them. But they are not gods, thankfully. Although in another story by Paul Zachariah, even God, who can do anything and everything, goes and sits before Babuka, the great artist, accepting defeat, and begs of him, "Teach me as well, teach me your music." This is the triumph of art, which exists in music and stories, and lies outside the reach of God. So even lids get knocked off. The perfume sways and the rising wave wafts up the image and the story takes off on a new path. Just as Europa arose from churning waters, just as the Himalayas rose, so too arises the story from the churning sand. New marks are scratched into old sand. Shapes form, boundaries are erased. The winds wander like tails. No one can stop them. They can't be suppressed by lids or shut up in boxes. The winds don't recognize such things as visas. Like stories, they flex and stretch. Is it wind or fire or smoke or fragrance? Its elements are not such that they can be cut into bits and stuffed into a box bed like Rosie. And did Rosie even stay shut up? She has arisen, walks ahead of Ma and behind Beti. So a story is just so. So there once was a king and there once was a queen. Both died. End of the story. What does it mean? The little boy burst out laughing. And there once was a king. There once was a queen. And so on, and so on, and so. The little girl laughs. There must be more to the story. Once there was a Rosie, and once there was a Baji. He picks up the brush. The brush fills the canvas with color. Then all the Bhupens stop. One portion of the canvas is unfinished. The color ends in a muddle. How will he spread it? What else will it do? It is silent for the moment. It will jump. It will cross over. The story will not end. Chapter 9. But where is Rosie? Right now it's all Baji. We have lost our Bazi, our turn. If you have been seeing something a certain way all along, and then it turns out you were seeing back to front, you get angry, as though a question mark has been placed on the accuracy of your perception. Wherever we thought we saw Rosie, Ma was there. We were the ones who created Rosie's ghost and saw only her, whilst she wasn't there at all. It was all Ma. At Wazir Khan's tomb, at the drain, at the green door, on the red stoop. The balance of life gets distorted. Who tied a cloth across our eyes? Who babbled on and on? Who is this woman? She reads Urdu and says things like the name of our Lahore station used to be written in 4 scripts: Urdu, Gurumukhi, Hindi, English. Amma, you told a lie, accuses Beti in their room at Faleti's. No, you said she did all this and all that. And she did. Rosie did. No, she, the one who left here. Me. She was me. Chapter 10. Ma walked past, ignoring the person opening the green door, and slipped into the house, declaring Hora changi tara laga de, lock up properly, in Punjabi, and began drinking in the home with her eyes, taking long sips in the company of the elderly man. She blinked in slow motion. Her eyes seemed to close for an age, then opened for an age. The people who had poured into the lane, one by one, gathered behind her, and the 100-year-old man. So many, one couldn't tell who had come from inside the house and who had come from outside. Ma looked up, and so did the entire group. Goodness! Her mouth opened wide, and she clapped a hand over it. Did the upper stories collapse? Everyone stared. There used to be 5 stories, she explained. Then the roof. Look at that. Even the 2nd story is broken. No, there are still some rooms there. The boy that said this, had he come from outside or in? You climb the stairs, then there's another entryway. Over here is the room where the metal trunks were kept. She said, the trunk room. There were quilts, mattresses, blankets, and sheets in it. Plates, ladles, bowls, notebooks, photos, binoculars. This was her grandfather's room. She called him Taya. He used to play carom here. Everyone called her Ghasita Mar because she dragged and pushed the pieces with her thumb. The bathroom was here, just one faucet. Not this geyser, not this shower. Above is the next story. Ma began to climb to it, and the neighborhood folk and those who lived there followed, avoiding the electrical wires dangling along the walls, tangled in old cobwebs. The sitting room upstairs, Ma said as she entered. And this, green woodwork. She showed them the green room. On the windows, red, blue, yellow paints. That's why it was called the color room. From here, she could see her classmate Kausar. Then she would go downstairs and leave with her in a horse carriage to go to their Dilruba lesson. They also rode cycles, rally cycles. They went to study together. This is the pillar room, Ma, the guide. They prayed here. The pillars are broken, she pointed out. Across from here, Uncle's room. It's gone, she told them. Above, the bedrooms. The iron grill is gone. From there she could see who had come home. Was Kausar alone or was she with her brother? From above, throw down a basket. For purchases, fruit and vegetables. Eggs 1 anna a dozen. 2 large loaves of bread for an anna. 4 annas for a seer of fish. 4 annas for a seer of meat, raw. 6 annas for cooked pie. How much for the rasgullas? Meh, 1 for 1 anna. There was also a room on the roof. Did it fly away? This said somewhat accusingly. Ma turned to the assembled group. That's where she studied. With Kausar. With Anwar. Their father was an English professor. They'd come out on the roof. They were at the non-stop chatting age. I was making pulkas. Taya told me to run up and hide on the roof. Fired up the earth. The roti was on the pan. There was a commotion. He said, "Jump up, get out." The doors fell, the stairs wobbled. Taya cried out, "Go, go, the house was on fire." "The house survived," Ma said calmly. "I will tell him." The fire went out. "Let's go downstairs." Everyone began walking down, where all the cricket equipment was lined up. Bats, balls, pads, wickets, caps, all wrapped in plastic, for sale. Uncle's dispensary. Over there, he'd check people's glasses prescriptions. Her uncle, Ma told the people, was an eye doctor. Khaki pants, yellow checked shirt. His compounder wore a Pathani shalwar and crusted turban. Someone pulled up an easy chair for Mama. She sat down. She would sit with him there. She was 16. She was reading the Tribune. Uncle checked Anwar's eyes. "It cost 5 rupees. Read the line." "Lahore," he read, but he couldn't see 4 or 6. "You need glasses. You're nearsighted." "Such glasses will never break. Will last your whole life." Thick glass, black frames, a rounded bow fit over the ears. Whenever he'd start winning at carom, she and Kausar would tease. "Hey, it's those ridiculous glasses you see twice as well. Cheating." He would put the glasses in his pocket and hit a piece again. Tea came for Ma. The green wooden door was open. Children, old people, youth, all gathered. Cricket equipment was written on the door, and the inside was indeed full of cricket equipment. The elderly man sat with her. If anyone could have understood the conversations that went on between them, they really ought to have written it down. Long, tangled, without beginning or end, like the people gathered in that green wooden Lahori house. Who could tell whose words were from inside and whose were from outside? Gurdaspur, Hoshiarpur, Layalpur, Duska. Duska is 100 kilometers from Lahore. We were in Majakot Khalifa. My sister in Rajapura, Patiala. Yes, I remember Sheikhpura. Well, talking to Gujranwala every day by phone. Shakargarh destroyed. Ji is doing business in Sutar Mandi. May you live long, son. Don't ask about Sabiha. This kameez she sent, I'll die in it. Katra Munshia went to Ludhiana. Bhaiya ji, Khalu, Mamu, Dr. Chacha gone. Come to our home, it's your home. Stay with us. God be with you. This must be your daughter. Come. Hands on Beti's head, caressing, soft and still on the head, in blessing. Now it's so, each one is wherever they have ended up, said the 100-year-old man. Why are you people crying? Asked Ma, laughing. Chapter 11. Sir, her daughter had started to get angry. At what? This was a phone conversation between Rahat Sahib and the Pakistani ambassador seated in Delhi. Menacing flames crackled through the wires from one direction. From the other bubbled a weak whimpering whisper. About Chironji. What am I asking you? You are chewing Chironji. No, sir, that was for the Hijras to eat. Huh? Such sparks flew through the wire that Rahat Sahab was nearly electrocuted. She brought it for some Hijra group. Hijras? Since when do such topics arise in our governmental department? Sir, the two of them were talking about it. They were saying, Let's go now. To the Hijras? No, home. They had to go home. Then you should say that they returned. No, sir. The daughter said, let's go home. And the mother said, yes, we'll go home. That's all I know. So they came back here. That's what you mean, right? The ambassador was sitting on here side. That's why he said here for there. No, sir. She was talking about going to her home over here, this side. Rahat Sahib explained. What the hell are you talking about? I know where their home is. Sir, she said the home of her shauhar, her husband. Her husband's home is here. Sir, she's saying it's here. Have you lost your mind? No, sir. It's the two women from India. They are the ones who are lost. You were given a responsibility. Where were you? Growled the ambassador. What am I supposed to say? Sir, I had a Karachi booking made. I personally got on board the flight and seated them there. My men over there took them to the hotel. Then, the phone wire throbbed like a palpitating heart. Sir, something happened to Mohata Nagar. That's what we have learned. Something about going to see the chief engineer in the sugar factory. Will you say something more? The wire wobbled. They said something about Hinglaj, about how there is sea there and desert. Now you are trying to teach me Pakistani geography? No, sir, what I'm trying to tell you is what? Sir, they didn't have a visa, so our guy advised them not to go. He said, please stay here, and that he would talk to me and arrange for a visa. But they didn't stay. Without a visa, the wire enflamed. You know what you're saying? Begum Sahiba said that she was from here. She didn't believe in the restrictions of visas. And you don't either? Sizzled the wire. No, sir, of course I do. The wire drooped, but they didn't agree. Do you have your head on straight? Sir, I'm afraid it's just that Appa, the younger of the two women, put out an all points alert to search every corner of Sindh, but there shouldn't be any drama. Do it discreetly. You know the infighting between governments here. If they find out what's up, there will be a furor. They're our guest. Please take care. Find out what's going on carefully and send our descriptions of both ladies and find them before word gets out in the two countries what they are wondering about without a visa. Yes, sir. I'll see to it myself. No one will know of it, only us. Wherever they went, in the desert, the sea, which country? What the heck are you on about? You know perfectly well this has been a headache for both countries, that neither has been able to figure out of this day who has the right to live where, who belongs to where, and whom the law favors. Chapter 12. Someone said they had been seen in Mitti. Someone else said there had been a sighting in Mirpur Khas, but the women were still missing. An alert went out along the way, and perhaps didn't stay as secret as desired. If you see any sign of two women, one small, one big, from the other side of the border, in the Thar Desert, please inform the nearest police station. The most concrete bit of news that came in was that a tire puncture had been fixed for a private vehicle in one place, and that two women, deep in a dispute of some kind, had got out of the car and hovered at a distance like twin shadows. But how should I have known there was a search out for them? Asked the lad at the garage. It was hardly written on their faces that they were foreigners. Even looked like my great aunt. Both of them? No, all three. What, three? Where did three come from? The two Indians plus my aunt. That makes three, yes? Ass. Why wouldn't your aunt look like your aunt? All three look like her. That's what I'm saying. Whatever. Now tell me this. What were they saying? How should I know, sir? The boy dusted off his grimy clothing and fell into a sullen silence, as if to say, here I am giving testimony and you're giving me a scolding. No wonder everyone avoids government folk. The mechanic standing nearby said, "Oh, you're searching for them? I overheard them talking." "How did you hear them?" "Sir, I was in the bushes over there on personal business." "Where they were standing?" "Yes, I was already there. I couldn't come out in the middle, so I stayed in there." "Fine. Tell us what you heard." "Sir, they wore woolen shawls. It was cold. They seemed like a mother and daughter. I saw that." "I'm asking what you heard, not what you saw." "Sir, yes. They were searching for someone. They were mentioning someone's name. Little someone, or junior. Kausar, Shauhar, husband. Anwar. They were arguing." "Arguing?" asked the man who had come to sleuth. The mechanic wore jeans. One leg was rolled up to the knee, making him look every inch a film hero. He also revealed that he was a huge cinema fan, a devotee of Amitabh Bachchan. So I was about to stand up. How could I have known I should pay attention to their words? If I had known, I had written them down. "See this, I keep a notebook in my pocket, sir." He grinned. "I take down the lyrics of film songs and hum them. And that's why everyone says Imtiaz, that's me, is a cheerful chap." He turned a page and began. "So this is Amitabh Bachchan's Sala Main To Saab Ban Gaya." "Dilip Kumar." "Sir? Who sang this one?" "Probably Rafi or Kishore." The mechanic was a bit uncertain. "It was Dilip Kumar. He sang it?" "In the film," someone explained. "Oh," he understood. "Oh." He scratched his head. "Oh, yes, I misspoke, sir. What I meant was Khaike Pan Banaras wala." The very important official glared at his underling so menacingly that the latter quickly stiffened and spoke sharply to the mechanic. "We are not here for a lecture on the films of their country. We have come to capture their women. They were not singing these songs, I trust. So then—" "No, sir, the bigger one was angry." "Meaning what?" "She was getting angry and asking how long must we wander from door to door, or maybe floor to floor, or car to car, or thar to thar." And she yelled, I think the daughter, to the mother. "You have completely forgotten that you came here to deliver Shatranji, or did she say Kalonji, or was it Chiranji?" So it was clear they had come to deliver something that we have already done. Rahat Sahib already delivered it, the smaller lady said. The mechanic spoke loud and high to imitate mass response. "And?" the officers asked, trying to piece together the information. "That's it." The mechanic couldn't decide what bits from film dialogues to bring into play next. He went on. "You're forgetting. I remember well. You're telling it wrong. No, right." Then the two of them got into the car and drove away. "I didn't read the plate number. Forgive me, sir. I was in a hurry to get out of the shrub." The people who had come to make inquiries were not interested in the mechanic and his shrub. They didn't need to know whether he ever got out or stayed in there definitely. They were there to hunt out two foreign women who looked like they were from around here, and to do so as discreetly as possible. But even a small amount of fire will send up smoke. The smoke reached some other administrative departments, and then the story circulated that two women, one small, one big, have slipped into our country without a visa on the pretext of searching for some server Anwar Shah or Kausar, and that nowadays innocent looking women, even little girls and old ladies, are sent in for the purposes of spying and terrorism. This Rosie, this Shatranji, Kalonji, this Dor, Julor, Thar, they could all be codes for some dangerous undercover operation. But beyond this, they found no trace of them, just the Thar and stillness.
Chapter 13. The Thar, which is a desert, silence, which is its voice, devoid of noise or crowds, filled with echoes, empty meaning free. Desert, meaning sand. Thus, memories came to the poet Faiz in the night. जैसे वीराने में चुपके से बाहर आ जाए, जैसे सहराओं में हौली सी चले बादे नसीम, जैसे बीमार को बेवजह खरार आ जाए. As when spring arrives quietly in the wilderness, as when a gentle breeze wafts over the desert, as when the invalid feels soothed for no reason. It is night, the moon is full. Night shimmering in moonlight. The sand was once an ocean. Spiny shrubs cast shadows over the sand. Towering dunes, some as high as 400 or 500 feet. The dunes shift. The roots of the shrubs and the tangled twigs peek out from the sand as though eager to gambol in the moonlight. A gorgeous sight, a silent scene, 2 women in their own world, and no one to witness, no historian to see, and note down what is happening. But this thing about noting down, when such companionship exists in the sand, there is no need for historian or witness. The butterfly floats up to tell the tale. The particles of sand band together. The breeze blows gently. The moon flickers as if reflected on glass. The woman says, "Stop." She gets out of the car and sits in the sand, becoming a sand shadow. Her hands folded over the cane. She sits in the desert, and oh, see, one of the butterflies painted on the cane flutters up slowly and alights on her hands, lightly between the woman's fingers, so lightly like a dream or fancy. The butterfly is black, its outspread wings dotted with white, which turn to lines in flight. Quietly fluttering open, it stares unblinking at the woman as it listens to her story. The woman narrates in a flat tone. The butterfly listens, and to hear one does not need an ear, but a soul. And thus it flutters now and again throughout the tale. And with each flutter, a grain of sand floats up, invisible to the naked eye. The words emerging from the mouth of the woman, sitting completely still, her fingers on the handle of the cane. Between them, a butterfly, the tar all around. The butterfly listens quietly to the woman's tale. As she narrates, then stops, then starts again. The first tale. Tales. Chapati on the pan, hearth lit. She's on the roof. Crash, crash, knock, knock. Footsteps chasing her. Uncle, uncle. She calls her grandfather uncle. A man appears, his face masked by a strip of fabric. He seizes her, grabs her, pulls. Uncle, chapati. Smoke from the kitchen. The house will burn down. She like a sack. The masked man wrapped in a niqab, dragging her along. Drag, drag. She is being dragged down the lane. Bump, bump. Leaving her home behind. Fire in the neighborhood. Smoke. Coughing. Down the lane. Drag, drag. One of her slippers breaks. It had been new. It had pressed against her big toe. Where daily, they'll soften up an hour or two. The nail of the toe presses further and further into the flesh. She had planned to cut it, to pull it slowly away from the flesh. Sky, spin, birds. A tin of food thrown open, its contents scattered about the street. She is smeared in gravy. Spicy gravy grins into her wounded too. Homes in flames. Dark shadows dance in the fire, leaping out. Someone leaps out, is picked up and tossed back. A potato into the tandoor oven. Auntie! 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 Jiddan Poopi's shop. Jiddan Poopi was everyone's auntie. Help! Auntie! The chapatis on the pan. Oh dear, I have set the home on fire. Ashes! Auntie! Uncle! Uncle! She screams, coughs, scrunching her eyes. Her hair is caught on something pointy, pulled from her scalp. The man in the niqab gives her a jerk, pulls her, blood. A dog turns tail, whimpers. She knocks into burnt, brutalized bodies, corpses, or live bundles. Anwar! Anwar! Anwar has gone to Lialpur city to look for a house. Then he's going to take her there with him. Until then, she had been left with her maternal grandparents. Before the wedding, she had been to Lialpur once during college. Cinema hall in a tent, stools and benches. Maya's town, Maya ki Nagri. Film. Kill, kill, kill. Girls alive. Screams. Oh Babuji, oh Popaji. Shoes and sandals, puffing, huffing, fleeing. An overturned donga. Was there a horse? Someone's earring, glasses, a crushed skull, tossed against the wall like a watermelon. Brains and a single eye, popped out like a spring, dragged on and on. Lifts her, throws her down. Truck. Or what? One or two more masked men. In the truck, girls, like her, 16, 17, 18, weeping, sniveling, one on top of another, sheep, goats, insects. She bites a hand. The masked man slaps her. Terrifying eyes, bloodshot. A lump on his forehead. Skin parched black like he got burned dragging her through the fires. Darkness, a tarp thrown over them. They are buried beneath. The girls scream, clawing, sink beneath the tarp. Darkness. Heavy things fall onto the tarp. Thud, thud, thud. The girls beneath, suffocating, suppressed, dying, unconscious, some crying, some silent, blind. She too. Noise or quiet. Memory or guessing. The truck stops. The masked men jump down, pulling, pulling, pulling the girls down. Weeping, silent. I did nothing, let go. Oh God, where are you taking me? Amma, Papa, big brother. Your khala will not forgive you. A graveyard, an open grave, new or broken. She tumbles in, lies still. She'll run away. The one with the lump jumps in after her, grabs her, throws her. Pain, no memory. Yes, pain. She remembers her toenail. She had never got around to trimming it. It was growing inward, cutting into the flesh. How to remove it? It's begun to fill his bus. He kicks. A door opens, a tiny room. In the cemetery. Girls stuffed in, terrified. They threaten them, shove them in. Chock-a-block, like a cattle. The door is locked. Darkness, sobs. Be quiet. Tears, blood, sweat, urine, stink. Must have been, don't remember. Day or night. How many days? How many nights? Who was alert enough to count? Now loaded onto an open truck, she stands up. An open street. No wells to be seen to jump in. 2 masked men behind her. She has shoved forward and made to sit. She falls. Where will you take us? What will you do with us? Anwar, where will you search for me? Desolation, a white sun, a well, a well. Her heart sobs. You can't die just by wishing it, not by saying it either. Wear 2 shalwars. There was Ma'am's instruction to us girls. Double shalwar left behind, back home. When they had snuck into her room, was she wearing 1 or 2 shalwars? The chapati burned, the fire spread. I set my house on fire. Sobs, no wells anywhere. How many days? How many nights? Locked up who knows where. Then loaded onto the truck again. Locked up again. Then the truck. The same one or another. Who knows? Same set of girls. Who knows? How many are there? Loads. At some point in a tonga, pressed down beneath the feet of Lumphead and the tonga driver, covered in something. And the other girls? Who knows? Half a piece of toast, sometimes some food and water, sometimes only food, sometimes only water, some dates, some chana, 4 annas worth of keema, 1 anna's worth of chapati. If only we had poison. She hears of riots, of refugees, thoughts shutting down, speech shutting down. Anwar, uncle, if I see a well, I'll make a break for it. The girls are so quiet now. Someone says, they're going to whore us out. Someone says, they are going to pounce on us. Then silence. They sit clutching one another's hands and sometimes keep apart. The truck has changed. A military truck, Kankra. All stuffed in. New girls too. Maybe. All girls. Why only girls? The fate of girls is rotten. In a pen with cows and buffalo, with animals, straw, cow dung, lowing. At one point, in an old ruin of a fort, if only I could jump from somewhere high and take my life. Slam on the brakes, sudden. The girls all tumble on top of one another. The truck stops. Everyone is taken out single file. Inside, more girls, all locked up. Prisoners. In a convent, abandoned. A bathroom. First time. But ransacked. Shouted at. Handed soap and clothing. Bathe. They bathe. Hospitality for sheep on their way to slaughter. Why don't they give us poison? Oh God, oh Lord. The girls grab hands and form a circle, quietly. She tears at the sleeve of her old kurta to make a bandage, wraps it around the wound on her too, limping. For the first time, a large place, a large prison. She wanders about the rooms in disarray, limping. There was an idol in one room, a Buddha. She had seen one such in the museum, with Anwar. Anwar must have put it here to give her courage. A sign from Anwar. It was small, 5 inches or less. That ancient Buddha. Anwar, where are you? How will you know I'm here? She picks up the Buddha and holds it to her chest. She keeps it with her, sleeping and waking. What need to die? I already have. But she holds on to the Buddha. Our last rites will be together, This will go wherever I do. This is a sign. This is Anwar. This is solace to my drowned heart. This is my compassionate, stone-hearted one.